know if any of my family is alive due to the entire region being cut off from the world.
I am
Tagarawiti.
I am Tigrawai.
We further demand for the international community to take action before this turns into Rwanda number 2.
Hi everyone, welcome to Axamarian Media Network. This is the English program with Axamarian. My name is Hadash Kasai and I will be your host today. In today's program, we will be having a thorough discussion with our human rights activist, Arawaro Samrawit Niguse. Welcome to Axamarian, Samri.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, please introduce yourself for those that don't know you.
Yes, my name is Samrawit. I was born in Tigray, but I live in New Hampshire and have lived there for over 15 years. And like everybody else, the past 16 months, I've just been doing everything that I can to bring light to the suffering of our people, our families, and friends and loved ones.
Yes, definitely. You have been one of the faces of the movement against the Tigray genocide. How did you start, and what motivated you to speak up?
Yeah, I guess I really started with just sharing any information that came out in the very beginning. I know we were very limited, and a lot of us were without a lot of information. So I started off just by sharing as much as I could. Making small little videos to get other people engaged, and that's kind of how it really started. And I just kept going with that. Reaching out to senators and just working with other Tagaru that have also been working day in and day out to raise as much awareness as we have.
Yes, definitely. We have a lot of people that are also working from every angle. What was the reaction from your non-Tagaru peers?
Yeah, so I had a good experience with like non-Tagaru community just because, like I said, I am in New Hampshire, so it was my brother and I and one other brother joined us, but other than that, it's always only been like 3 Tigrayans in New Hampshire. So my community of non-Tigrayans were very supportive. I had worked with a lot of the community leaders in New Hampshire, and so I had that network and was able to get words out to non-Tigrayans, and they were definitely very sympathetic and open to helping. So I'm very fortunate for the New Hampshire community in that sense.
That is wonderful. Yes, that is very fortunate. I haven't heard that from many Tagaru. Usually, I would say in every community, like for myself, I'm in Las Vegas, and usually it's just us Tagaru being active. So I love hearing that, you guys do have allies and those that support you that are not Tagaru. That's amazing. But how do you balance your day life and being an activist? I know it doesn't come easy, requires a lot of time. So how do you balance it?
Yeah. So to be like very transparent, it's been very hard. In the beginning, I actually ended up leaving work and taking time off from work for 5 months so that I could focus, because it wasn't even like advocacy for me. Like I worked in social justice and environmental justice and done a whole bunch of activism work, but this just felt like an everyday like part of my life and like the main thing in my life. So that really allowed me to like allocate a lot of time to Tigray and to our people for those 5 months. And then, when I started work back up, it was just my lunch breaks, even, during times where I probably shouldn't be on my phone figuring out information, a lot of sleepless nights. And to be transparent, like I have not figured out the best way to be able to balance it, but I don't think there is a way, because nothing could have prepared us for this. There's no form of training. So it's just been like day by day, every day I try and take care of myself as well and find that time. And right now I'm also not working, so I've been able to have a lot more time to be able to manage raising awareness for our people.
That's amazing, and I love that you brought up taking care of yourself, because I do know a lot of Tagayans feel guilty to take care of themselves. Saying our families are starving, how could we think about ourselves? But if we're not okay, then we won't be able to help those in need right now. So I love that you are doing that. Please continue to do so. And what was that?
I was just gonna add, even the people in Sudan, our Tigrayan brothers and sisters that fled, they will tell you the same thing. One of the advice that I got was them saying take care of yourself. Basically, you can't pour from an empty cup, so you have to make sure you're filling yourself and rejuvenating and giving yourself energy so that you can put it towards our people.
It's so amazing, and to hear that from people that have been so traumatized, our people that have been through the worst, telling us to take care of ourselves. It's pretty amazing and so inspiring. And actually, that was the next topic I wanted to talk to you about was Sudan. I know you have visited, the Tagayan refugees in the camps. Tell us about which camps you visited, and how was your experience like overall?
Yeah, so I was able to visit 2 out of the 4 camps. I was able to visit Hashaba, and I was able to visit Kuba. Tanadba and Hamdayda, the other 2 I was not able to visit. We were able to deliver funds that the diaspora had raised during my time there to send to Tanadba when the fire had happened. And my time there, it's such a loaded question. Everybody always asks how was it? And I never really know how to answer that question, because it was a lot, a lot of emotions, good and not necessarily bad, but hard. And so it was really great to be with our people and to see how resilient they are, and just the way that they've been able to make the best out of their situation. But it was really sad to see them in these conditions, the way the houses are, and the lack of, clothes, and just the lack of care that they deserve. But to see them being able to pull themselves on a daily basis and even motivate me on some days, it's just, I don't have words to explain it, but it was sad because you see a lot of the pain, even when they don't talk about it, you can just see it in their eyes. And it just showed me we have a lot of work ahead of us, for them, for us just as a whole. But a lot of us have faith, we have hope, and we're willing. I mean, there's no other option, but all of us collectively, we're ready. We understand that this is something that we're gonna have to work on and heal together.
Yes, definitely. And for me, I haven't been there yet, but every time I hear about Tagayan's experience in Sudan, it's always the refugees inspiring our people that can go from here. So it's so inspiring to hear, and just so amazing, and just shows how resilient our people are. No matter what, they're always resilient. They can never break, and it's just amazing to hear. And I can't wait to go visit myself one day. What would you say to diaspora here in the U.S. or Europe? How can they help those in Sudan?
Yes. So the best way that you can help is through donations, and I've started a GoFundMe to be able to disperse the funds to them. And they need clothes. Some of them, their clothes are have holes in them, and they haven't changed them, and they don't have many options to change into. Same thing with shoes, and then also for medicine and for specific food for those that have dietary restrictions, or are older, or are HIV or TB positive, things of that sort that require specific medicine. As well as when I was there, the Asmalash Grant Foundation opened up a clinic for women and children. So also seeing funding the things that are already in place, and just showing them that we're still here, we're going to help, as well as helping them start their own businesses, keep their minds going and give them some form of like independence, like that they can take care of themselves in a way, like so things like that. Yeah, it goes a long way. Like when diaspora show up there, when they receive funds and they know it's coming from diaspora, they're just very grateful people, and they deserve any form of help that we can give them.
Yes, 100%. And yes, for everyone watching this, make sure to support the Ganesh grant. And also, I know HPN for Tigray also works closely in the Sudan camps as well. So be sure to, visit their Instagram pages and also donate what you can. And then next, I was just going to speak to you about, how you have been raising awareness in numerous ways. For instance, I've seen you hold protests with, many other Tigrayan diaspora and different national protests, and even, counter protests on the short-lived No More movement. I've also seen you on that, and most recently you have been a keynote speaker on the BLM Coast. So tell us a little bit first about your counter protest to the No More movement, and also what you did after, and what movement you created after to combat that.
Yeah. So for the No More movement, I call it moment because it didn't really
moment. That's a good one.
But yeah, so I think like with that, the whole point of that was to expose the group of people for what they are. Because I think one of the things that's harmful is when like Tigrayans were a minority and the Ethiopians and their Eritrean allies, they're a majority. So their voices, anything they say, like it's going to be louder, more people are going to hear it, they can reach more people. And so my thing is they are out there preaching peace, preaching unity, trying to make it seem like they're one Ethiopia, inclusive for all, and like selling this narrative that it's Tigrayans that are trying to destroy this one Ethiopia, trying to destroy unity, trying to destroy peace, which is absolutely not the case. And so the point, or my goal, was to go there and just let themselves expose themselves. I showed up there, I had a sign, it said, Ethiopia is starving millions of Tigrayans, including my mother and younger siblings. It's just a sign. I was not speaking anything initially, that's all that I was doing. And I had a TDF shirt, and you could tell them.
Yeah, Tigrayti. Wow.
And so, yeah, their action spoke for itself, because as soon as they seen that, they attacked. Like, what wasn't caught in the beginning was, like, I would say the most, like, violent and vicious, because they all literally attacked, like, ripped the sign into pieces right out of my hands. And, I'm there, I'm like, okay, like, I didn't come here to fight anybody. That's not the purpose of this. And then from then on, it was also, like, after there was no sign, they started attacking me. And I'm like, so where is this unity? Where is this peace? Where is this love that you guys are preaching? They cannot practice what they preach, and that was the whole point of it. And I mean, it spoke for itself. So that was that. And then the No More movement was started by a group of Tigrayan African activists. And the whole point of that was to fix the misconceptions and false narratives that were out there, and know more, our know more as in KNOW, meaning you should know more, learn more, things like that. And the whole point of that was just to really fight the false narratives that were being put out there, and set like the record straight, and also let people know about the Tigray genocide, and for them to like know more and educate themselves, so that they are able to spread awareness and be able to spread accurate information. And we had Daddy Hope on Twitter, who has like a very huge following base. After speaking with one of our like co-founders, ended up like changing his stance, and it was really incredible, because he started using the hashtag No More as well. And it was definitely incredible to see like how far it went in people realizing, wait a minute, like something doesn't add up, because truth is on your side, like it's gonna add up. If it isn't, at one point or another, like things are gonna start not making sense.
Yes, definitely. The truth always comes to light, and I'm so happy that the No More movement was so successful, and truly was. It's because it had the truth behind it, and it was just amazing to see that as well, and to see our people participate as well in those campaigns. So amazing, and proud of you guys, for starting that as well. And the next one is the most recent advocacy or awareness you've been able to make was through the being a keynote speaker on the BLM Seacoast, the Black Lives Matter Seacoast. Tell us a little bit about that and how you were a part of it. Was it because of the Tigray genocide, or have you been a part of that? And how did you get in? How were you able to connect with them?
Right. Yeah, so before they asked me to be a keynote speaker, the year before they were holding their first award ceremony, and the way that it works is like people within New Hampshire, they can nominate people that they think has been doing like excellent work or really great work within New Hampshire and the community for all of New Hampshire, the Black community, people of color, things like that. And so I was nominated, and then they awarded me with the prize that year. And when you win, you get like a minute or two to say something and like accept the award and things like that. And so I took that opportunity to discuss the Tigray genocide, and they were really receptive. They actually like stopped and told everybody, halt, like you're gonna go on Twitter, you're gonna use hashtag Tigray genocide, and they were really open to helping me. And I had relationships with the people because I was in social justice advocacy work for some time, being a person of color in a predominantly white state. You're either with it or you're not. So I'm very grateful that I was able to build relationships throughout my advocacy work, whether it was social justice, racism, or environmental. And I'm very grateful that those people were able to, stand in solidarity with us.
Yes, that's amazing, and I commend you on winning that as well. Congratulations, much deserved. You're a great activist, and now that I know it was even before the Tigray genocide, you stand for all Black lives. It's amazing, so I commend you on that.
Thank you.
And then what should other Tigrayans in the diaspora do to gain more allies and bring more awareness worldwide?
Yes. The biggest thing I would say is like, don't be shy. Use any resource, any opportunity that you can. Like, I know even for me, like you might not know, but I can be shy sometimes, or like nervous to people or in front of people. But like, just take the risk. Like I remember one of the times was like for the newspaper, our local newspaper. Like I don't really call myself a great writer, but I was like, you know what, let me give it a try. And like I ended up writing to them, and they put it in the newspaper. And then it ended up, hey, we want to interview you, and they put me on like the front of the newspaper. And like just imagine if I was like, no, like I don't think I'm good at it. Like I don't want to. Like what is there to lose, So it's the same thing. Like reach out to your local newspapers, your local media, and have those conversations, even with random people and strangers. Like it's not gonna hurt. Like, you don't have anything to lose by continuously using any opportunity to talk about it. But if you don't, then we have our people to lose. So that's like the mindset that I always try to keep in mind is, okay, can I do it? Like then why shouldn't I? There's absolutely no reason not to. And I think if each of us does that, we'll feel a little bit better, because I know sometimes the guilt can eat at you, like you're not doing enough. But even just doing like the little things, like it'll go a long way for yourself, but more importantly for our people.
Yes, definitely. Not being shy and putting yourself out there and always doing what you can in your community. I love that advice, and I hope everyone watching this follows as well. The Tigray genocide has been, ongoing for almost 500 days now. But still not getting enough attention. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, so I think there are a few reasons. One is, unfortunately, still a lot of people don't know. And like, you can't blame people for something they don't know. And I think we have to keep two things in mind. Like, one, there's intentional blackout and intentional blocking of reporters and media and any sort of information from coming out there by the Ethiopian government. So that in itself is a huge obstacle. And then keep in mind, even if that wasn't an obstacle, like, the media does not hold on to a crisis happening in Africa the same way that they would hold if it was happening in another country, European country. So then, like, it's two obstacles that go hand in hand, like, against us. It's very heavy to try and combat that. And I think we just have to be not necessarily louder, because I think we've been pretty loud, but we have to be smarter and more efficient. So maybe a handwritten letter to your senator will go a lot further than always just trying to, like, be loud and on the road all the time. Like, we still have to be out there 100%, but like, not every day, and it's not. We can't ask our people every single day to be out on the streets. We have to work, stuff like that. But just being more efficient and telling, like, random people about it. Hey, like, did you know that this is happening? Like, hey, like, I haven't been able to talk to my family. Or when people ask, hey, where are you from? I'm from Tigray. It's actually like this time, whatever. So that's a part of it. And then the obvious part is just the world is so busy with all the other things that are happening. I mean, they hear hunger, and people are being starved. They just think Africans. They're always starving. Which is why I think, like, I go back to the point of, like, personalize it. Like, when you tell somebody, hey, there's 7 million people in Tigray starving, they're gonna be like, where's Tigray? Africa? Oh, people in Africa starving? But if you're like, hey, like, I have not been able to talk to my mother. Like, my mother and my younger siblings are being starved, being held hostage. They're gonna be like, I have a mother, I have siblings. Like, wow, how would that make me feel? It becomes like a personal issue because it's so far away from, say, the United States. A lot of people, they're like, oh, it's not too close to home. So I think that's a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. And we have definitely seen that as well, because when the Ukraine Ukraine and Russia war started, the whole world was advocating, and there was no needed push from, I feel like, the Ukrainians. It was more of everybody just standing for Ukraine. But we haven't received that sort of attention at all. And I think you've explained why already. If you have anything else to add, I would give you a chance as well.
Yeah. You mean to add in general, or about, like, why we're not getting coverage?
Why do you think we're not getting that sort of attention? Because we have been speaking and raising awareness every single day almost.
Yeah. Like I said, I think, like, the biggest issue is trying to get the public to care, because if it's one thing that I realized, like, if say, for example, people in America, if they didn't think what was happening in Ukraine was going to affect them, then like, the president putting sanctions or, like, threatening to do XYZ, like, if the president didn't have the people's support, then nothing would be able to pass. So I think, like, our biggest thing is, like, trying to anger and get people to be more empathetic.
Now we're seeing unimaginable crimes such as, Tigrayans being burnt alive. These are civilians, and it's being done by the Ethiopian forces and their allies, such as the Amhara militia, known also as the Fano. Why do you think the world is still not acting on this, and why is the international community still not calling this a genocide? We have never seen this happen, and it's just so heinous, and I have never in my life seen just crimes being committed like this and being shown to the world, and the world is still silent.
No, that was a really horrifying like video to watch. And you would think that after seeing this, like the whole world would be angry. And I will say that when the video was circulating, we were getting a lot of allies with platforms angered by this. And I think like the answer to this is just to continuously circulate it. And I know, some of our people in our community are a little hesitant about that because we don't want to cause more trauma to our people. And I would always advise, as a Tigrayan, we know these things are happening. We don't have to see it. And like, if you need to not watch it, then I would hope that you don't have to watch it. But the rest of the world does, unfortunately. And we have the option to not watch it. But any evidence that comes out, it has to be circulated. It has to go around. And it reminds me of the George Floyd video, actually, and how that is what it took for a lot of non-Black people to be angered. And I think that this video, if people watch it, like if they don't get angered, then it's going to be really devastating, and I'm going to lose hope in humanity, because I just don't know how any human being could watch this and be okay or not be angered. And I think the biggest thing we have to keep in mind, two things really, is one, like, this is not an isolated incident. This situation is not a one-time thing. And it is part of the genocide, one part of the genocide. We've had our family members and our people thrown into rivers with their hands tied. We've had our women's and girls' wombs intentionally destroyed by shoving objects and just doing as much damage as they can, physically, psychologically, mentally, in every aspect that they can, to dehumanize and destroy our entire ethnic group. And so we have to keep in mind that what we're seeing, one, we have to share and we have to let the rest of the world see. But two, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because there's so much that we haven't seen. And I just hope that the right people are seeing this video so that, it can be put to an end, because there's no explanation for it. There's no way justifying what's been happening to our people. And when you understand that this is genocide and this is not a one-time incident, it was not one man that was burned alive. This is just one of their methods of exterminating us. I hope that then, like, the people will realize, okay, this is not okay, but they need to understand that this is bigger than just this one-time incident.
Yep, and definitely. I hope one day they do realize that, Hafte. And also, I do see a lot of Tigrayans sharing it with Facebook, and of course, sometimes Facebook, only your friends can really see it, can't really reach, as much. So hopefully our people will realize it's more important to make sure that, it's seen outside of our community than just us seeing it, because it is traumatizing us Tigrayans, over and over again, to watch our people like that and haven't had any contact with our families for over 500 years, 500 days.
It feels like 500 years.
It does.
I really do hope that, Tigray gets reconnected soon and that aid is brought to our people. And there's actually something out there right now that, an effort out there, it's HR 6600 that people can sign. And this is something really huge that the diaspora and has to do, is, utilize the resources that are out there. So these orgs that are in place that are making these petitions, and, Stand With Tigray has a click to call. So all you do is you go onto this link and it calls your senators and your representatives up for you. So taking those initiatives. And the reason why HR 6600 is important is because it would demand Ethiopia to allow unfettered humanitarian access into Tigray. And I know recent reports are coming out that half of our population could die within the next month if aid is not allowed in. That's insane. Half of our people could perish. And So when there is like an effort like this bill out, we need every single person, everybody that they have the ability to reach to send, because this is something even a random person could sign and would want to sign if they realize like what it's for, and it would also, it's asking all parties to the conflict to stop at the hostilities, and it's calling for national dialogue and as well as independent investigations, which is what we need because, like I said, so much has been kept in the dark intentionally. And also, this bill would require for a genocide designation after independent investigations to designate it as a genocide. And so, for anybody that's seeing this, like, you sign it if you haven't already, but share it with any human being that you possibly can. And this goes back to the uncomfortableness or that shyness. Like, there's not room, there's not time for us to be reserved in any aspect. You just have to full force push. Just send it. If they don't sign it, you ask them to. It's out of your hands. But anything that's within your control, you have no option but to do it.
Yes, definitely. And the last time I checked, I saw about 15,000, people that signed the petition. Why do you think the diaspora are not signing it? Because I'm pretty sure there's more than 15,000 of us here. And also, if we ask our friends as well, that is way more than 15,000. So why do you think a lot of Tigrayan diaspora haven't signed it? And how do you think we can improve that?
Yes, and we're inching up on 17,000, so we're doing a little bit better. But I think what maybe one of the reasons is maybe people are starting to lose hope in things like this. And like that it's valid. Like, I understand, we're tired, we're starting to lose hope and whatnot, but like that's not going to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, losing hope isn't going to save our people, but signing this and getting as many people as we can will. Like, if this is passed, our people will get medicine, our people will get food. And even if you're like, I'm not sure that I fully believe that this will do anything, okay, so do it. It's not going to hurt you. And I do realize that this is for U.S. Residents only, but like you said, there are more than 17,000 of us. And then if you put that, and if everybody reaches out to everybody in their phone, everybody on Facebook, everybody on Instagram, we should easily be able to get a lot more than that. So it's just a matter of understanding the importance. And I'm here to tell you, this is a very, very important bill. And a lot of people are putting a lot of work to make this happen. And you have to call your senators and your representatives on a daily basis. There's a script you would stand with Tigray to call. You literally just have to read a script, 2 minutes maybe, 1 to 2 minutes, and
yes, definitely.
They can't ignore you.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, the job is already done. All we have to do is call and literally read and sign it. And so please, everybody, share it, share the petition, sign it, and make sure you're calling your senators as well. And then, we're talking about raising awareness, more awareness, and all of us as diaspora together. We actually do have a national protest in Los Angeles, and I know you are a big part of that. So tell us a little bit more about this national protest and just how prepared is everyone, and how many are you guys expecting to come to the protest?
Yeah, so there's the national protest for the 500 days of genocide happening in LA. The protest, we'll have the protest on the 18th and the 19th. And we also have on the 20th, 18th, 19th, 20th, like an opportunity for us to gather and be there for each other. So this is a really great opportunity to raise awareness and then also be with your people and get that time to be able to connect, cry, whatever it is that you need. And so in terms of how many people we expect at the moment, I couldn't give you a number, but recently Sean King posted our flyer, and he has over 3 million, nearly 4 million followers. So we're hoping to get a lot more, as that's a huge like that was a big time exposure.
Yes.
So we're really looking forward to that. And I know, a lot of us are tired of, we're marching, we're doing this. It's been almost 500 days. And I understand, I would be worried if you're not tired because this is exhausting, but this is also our job. And,
Yes.
like that's what makes us so resilient is that even when we're tired, we still find ways to make it happen. And let me tell you, like, it makes a difference. Like the people, I can speak like for the people in Sudan, when we're there and the ones that do have access to TV, when you watch people from far away marching, like they watch you guys. And I just remember being a diaspora and them sitting there and watching. It was so emotional because it means so much to them. Like in a time and a place where they feel so forgotten and they still have the diaspora that are out there every day at some place point in time marching, it means so much. And it's also to show, to the world that, hey, you could not say we didn't tell you about it. We were out there every day marching and you guys failed. So it's to hold, whether it's senators or whether it's just the international community accountable, saying we were out there. You guys, we were doing our job. You guys continue to ignore. So it's just for multiple factors. But at the end of the day, it's our job. We're going to keep trooping through it. Like this all will pass. But until then, we have to give it our all.
Yes, 100%. That is well said, well put together, and I hope everyone is planning on going there as well to Los Angeles, and that is again from the 18th to the 20th. Did you guys invite or any local or international medias to the national protest?
Yeah, so as the LA community does for previous protests, sending out like press releases and letting them know that this is happening, giving them an opportunity. And then we're also really trying to bring in as many allies as we can. So just reaching out to potential, people that care about Black lives and just justice in general. And just trying to get as many allies as we can, because that's one of the things as the Tigrayan community that we have to do a lot better on is reaching out to other people, because people out there they would care, they just might not know. Yes,
most definitely. And I do hope everyone that hears about it does come, and we as Tigrayans need to do better at promoting it as well. So thank you so much for telling us a little bit more about that. And we are coming to an end of this program. If you have any messages to say, I will give you a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think all I have to say is just keep on pushing. We did not come this far only to come this far, and our people are depending on us. Just as our people back home, they have a job. Stay alive, keep fighting. Like they have to do their role, we have to do ours, and just continue pushing the international community, holding them accountable, and then just continuing to raise awareness so that more people know. We'll get through this.
Yes, we will, definitely. Thank you so much, Samrawit Hasana, and thank you everyone for watching. Please share and subscribe to Oxymoron Media Network on YouTube and Facebook as well. Also, please follow our wonderful guest, Arwaro, Samrawit, on Facebook and also Instagram as well. And follow her on her journey, and also, as she continues to fight for human rights, not only for Tigrayans, but as she's been doing for all Black lives. So follow her. Samri, thank you so much for all your time and for joining us today. We really appreciate you, and for our audiences, thank you so much for continuously watching us and supporting Oxymoron.
Thank you so much for having me.